Hello everyone and welcome back to our geography class. Now in my today's lesson, I will be starting a new chapter, that is chapter number 14, and the name of the chapter is your atmospheric pressure and your winds. Now in the first part of this chapter, we will be dealing with atmospheric pressure, where we will be throwing some light on the definition of atmospheric pressure. We should also know your unit that is utilized in order to measure your atmospheric pressure. Then we'll be taking into account your few major factors that play a very important role in order to determine your atmospheric pressure, and in the end part, we will be ending your atmospheric pressure topic by highlighting your world pressure belts. So let me start with this chapter. If you want to refer your textbook, it's there in page number 104. Now when you talk about atmospheric pressure, it is very essential for you all to know as to what is there in the atmosphere or what is there in the air. So they say your air is a physical feature. It is a mixture of different varieties of your gases, your several gases that are present there in the atmosphere. And these gases that are present there in the atmosphere, it has got its own weight. Now the air pressure, basically, now the air that is there in the atmosphere, it basically exerts your pressure on the Earth's surface. The weight of an air on a unit area of the Earth, now that is termed as your air pressure. So as mentioned earlier in the introductory part, they say your air is a physical substance. Now see in your atmosphere, your different varieties of your gases are present. Now these gases, they have got their own weight. Okay, now when these gases that are present there in the atmosphere or your air exerts pressure on the Earth's surface, now that is considered to be your air pressure. So in simple terms, this is how you basically define your air pressure. Now atmospheric pressure, now this is the topic that you ought to highlight as to what do you mean by your atmospheric pressure. See, atmospheric pressure, turn to page number 104 there in your textbook. Atmospheric pressure refers to the force per unit area exerted against the surface by the air above the surface. So that is your atmospheric pressure, and there is a special unit that is utilized in order to express your atmospheric pressure. So your unit that is utilized in order to express your atmospheric pressure, it is termed as millibars. So millibar is basically the unit that is utilized in order to express your atmospheric pressure. So they can ask you this question as a short type question. The average atmospheric pressure at the sea level, okay, that means the atmospheric pressure, that means AP at the sea level. You should be noting down this. Okay, sea level is 1013.25 millibars. Okay, so this is your atmospheric pressure that is maintained there at the sea level, 1013.25 millibars. Okay, then they say your atmospheric pressure decreases with your height. So as you climb up the altitude, as you climb up or ascend your height, your atmospheric pressure is decreasing. So this is one important thing that you ought to note down. And about altitude, your height in a detailed manner, we will be talking about that in your factors affecting your atmospheric pressure. So from the first part or the introductory part of this chapter, it is very essential for you all to note down the definition of atmospheric pressure. Okay, then you should be highlighting or you should be knowing the unit that is utilized in order to express your atmospheric pressure. Millibar, it is very, very important for your short type question. And one more thing they can ask you under your short type question, your atmospheric pressure that is maintained there at the sea level, it is your 1013.25 millibar. And they even said that as you ascend the altitude, as you climb up, okay, the height, as the height is increasing, your atmospheric pressure is decreasing. Now this atmospheric pressure is an important factor that is producing your changes there in the weather condition. So your weather is changing, your differences there in your weather phenomena or your changes or your variation there in your weather is basically being caused by your atmospheric pressure. Contrast in temperature causes, that means differences in your temperature, your high temperature and your low temperature. It causes changes in the density of the air, which are responsible for your variation there in the temperature. So in simple terms, they are saying that if your temperature is changing, okay, what is happening here? Your temperature changes, basically changes your density of the air also. And the changes there in the density of your air is bringing about variation there in your pressure. So this is is how your temperature plays a very important role. Your variation there in the temperature plays a very important role in order to bring about your differences there in the air pressure. Now this variation basically causes your horizontal movements of your air. So this variation that is there in the air pressure. So horizontal basically means this kind of movement. So horizontal movements of your air are basically being caused, and that is responsible for bringing about your winds. So horizontal movement of your air that is caused by changes there in your air pressure is basically bringing about the movement in the form of your winds. Now wind basically transports your heat and your moisture from one region to the other region. For example, when you talk about your rainfall received there in a region, your moisture laden wind that is coming and basically hitting your mountainous region, the windward side receives more rainfall, whereas your rain shadow area or your leeward side receives less amount of your rainfall. So it is your wind that is responsible for carrying away your heat. It is responsible for carrying away your moisture from one region to the another region, and then help in your occurrence of your precipitation. Okay, precipitation, there are different forms of precipitation. The primary one is your rainfall. Okay, you also have your hailstones. You can also take into account your examples of your snowfall. So your forms of precipitation, that is highly occurrence of your precipitation, that is highly determined by your movement of your wind that is basically transporting your heat and your moisture, and it's affecting both your temperature and your humidity there in that region. So your primary forms of your climatic scenario or your aspects of your climatic scenario, like your temperature changes, you take into account. You also take into account your form of precipitation in the form of your rainfall, your snowfall. Then you also take into account your humidity, because humidity and your rainfall are directly related. Humidity is the amount of moisture that is present there in the atmosphere in the form of water vapors. So everything is basically been impacted by the movement of wind that is caused by your changes or variation there in your air pressure. So this is why your air pressure plays a very important role in order to bring about your changes, or it's playing a primary role in determining the climatic scenario of a region. Now moving on with the next topic is your factors that affect the atmospheric pressure. Now in the introductory part also they have already said that your atmospheric pressure, it is changing because of your changes there in your height. So they say atmospheric pressure decreases, change is taking place. Your atmospheric pressure is decreasing with height. That means with an increase in your height, your atmospheric pressure is decreasing. So your first primary factor that basically brings about your changes there in your atmospheric pressure, the first factor is your altitude. So the first factor that you're going to highlight here is your altitude. Okay, so altitude is your primary factor, ALTI, altitude, or your height is your primary factor. Okay, as your altitude is increasing, your atmospheric pressure is decreasing. So let's see what happens when these kinds of your phenomena is taking place here in the earth. The atmospheric pressure decreases with the height. That means as you climb the height, the atmospheric pressure is decreasing. The decrease in the pressure is about 1 centimeters of your mercury for every 110 meters of ascent. That means as you are climbing 110 meters, as you are climbing the height 110 meters, there is a fall there in the atmospheric pressure by 1 centimeters. That means every rise in 110 centimeters is decreasing your atmospheric pressure by 1 centimeter. So your atmospheric pressure and your altitude and your height, they are inversely or indirectly related. Atmospheric pressure, they say it is highest at the sea level, and we have already mentioned about your atmospheric pressure, your average atmospheric pressure that is maintained at the sea level, that is 1013.25 millibar. Okay, so your atmospheric pressure at the sea level, that is the lowest point. Okay, that is comparatively very high. Why it is high? Because at higher altitude the air is thinner and less dense than the air that you find there in the sea level. The maximum air density is at the Earth's surface. Air density decreases with your height because the pull of the Earth's gravity is comparatively less as you climb up the altitude. The fewer the number of gas molecules, collision and a decrease in your air pressure Since the atmosphere is highly compressible, the overlying layers exerts pressure on your underlying layers or your lower lying layers. That's the reason why the atmospheric pressure at higher altitude automatically is very, very low in your higher altitude in comparison to your atmospheric pressure that you find there at the sea level, because sea level is the lowest one. Okay, so there the air is comparatively very, very dense also. So there your atmospheric pressure is very high. As the pressure decreases, okay, the amount of oxygen available also decreases, and that is the very reason why your mountaineers, the ones who basically do mountain trekking and all, they basically carry an extra oxygen bottle with them, because as they climb up the altitude, they find it very, very difficult to breathe there because your atmospheric pressure there is decreasing. Okay, so as you climb up an altitude, your atmospheric pressure decreases, and that is a scenario that can be associated with your mountaineers. They are carrying extra oxygen bottle as they climb up the mountain. So as the pressure decreases, okay, the oxygen available there is also decreasing. That is the reason why at higher altitude, atmospheric pressure and the oxygen that is available gets so low that people feel breathless. Okay, that is the reason why your mountaineers, your mountain climbers and all are using your bottled oxygen, your cylinders and all they're basically carrying as they ascend very high peaks. They also take time to get used to the altitude, quickly moving from your high pressure to your low pressure, and they can cause decompression, sickness. For example, when you are there in the higher altitude region, suddenly you come there in the lower altitude region, your different varieties of your sickness might hit you. For example, you might be having your nose bleeding, and they say basically because of your fluctuation of your atmospheric pressure, that sickness is basically hitting you. Okay, so it is considered to be your decompression sickness. Now, decompression sickness is also termed as your bends, is also a problem for your scuba divers who come to the surface too quickly, because scuba divers, they're going there in your oceans at the sea level, they're going there below your sea level. Okay, so as they come quickly then the surface, there's the changes there or your fluctuation there in your atmospheric pressure, and they are also hit by your decompression sickness, which is commonly known as your bends. Now, aircrafts also create, when we use airways modes of transportation, people are traveling comfortably amongst all the modes of transportation. They say your airways or your air modes of transportation is considered to be the most comfortable modes of transportation, because your aircraft is creating your artificial pressure inside the cabin so that your passengers remain comfortable while flying. Because in a natural manner, if you see the scenario, we are going to such a greater height, your atmospheric pressure there is comparatively very, very less. So airways modes of transportation cannot become a comfortable modes of transportation. But today airways are considered to be a comfortable modes of transportation. Most of the people today are preferring your airways modes of transportation, because there your aircraft has created your artificial pressure there in the cabin so that your passengers who are utilizing your airways modes of transportation can travel in a very, very comfortable manner. So this is one primary factor that plays a very important role in order to affect or in order to determine your atmospheric pressure there in that region, whether an increase there in the atmospheric pressure, whether the decrease there in that atmospheric pressure. So in my today's lesson, I'll just be dealing with your first factor affecting your atmospheric pressure. Now in my next class, I'll be talking about your other factors too, which play a very important role in order to determine your atmospheric pressure that is there in that region. Thank you.